Hi, everyone, and welcome to week 17 of the Arc Analytics weekly workshops. Today, we're going to talk about hybrid data strategy and what that means for your organization as you start ramping up your adoption of Qlik Cloud or just exploring how you might fit it into your organization. Hybrid data strategy, what do I mean by that? Essentially, in Qlik Cloud, you need to be able to access data, and Qlik Cloud makes that super easy. Straight out of the box, the moment you log into Qlik Cloud, you will be able to connect to databases, APIs, SaaS applications like Salesforce or Workday. You'll be able to access your data files from S3 buckets, from SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Docs, Google Drive rather, all the above. Now, there are really important not even edge cases, but really important scenarios that you run into in especially larger organizations that have especially databases and files that are on-prem, that are behind a firewall, right? And in many cases, you will still need to be able to access the data that comes from those files or those databases that you have in your network behind your firewall. Now, Qlik actually has a tool and an ability to help you get that data in an encrypted, secure pipeline from your environment through the firewall and up into Qlik Cloud. Now, key point there is through the firewall. What does that mean? Do I have to poke a inbound hole into my firewall? No, you do not. And so that's what we're going to really talk about today is the Qlik Data Gateway. All right. So now the Qlik Data Gateway is a client, a tool that you can install in your environment. So whether that's on-prem or private cloud, whatever environment you have with firewall restriction that you otherwise would not be able to access from the internet. So you can install this data gateway client onto like a Windows server in that environment or accessible to that environment. And then this tool is what is going to basically pipe your data, right, using SQL queries to your databases or just grabbing raw files like CSVs, Excel, Parquet, JSON, what have you, and securely pipe that up into your Qlik Cloud tenant, right? So how does this work? Basically, when you install the data access tool, rather the data gateway tool, you set up an API key, you create an encrypted connection that is outbound only, right? So basically, when you set it up, Data Gateway will ping the server, the Qlik Cloud securely, and so that way there's never any inbound, right? Qlik Cloud is never going to go into your environment. It's only a secured outbound pipeline. So that's a really important kind of setup for enterprise environments, right? So now, just to make sure that we're clear here, what I'm describing is sort of two different tools. So there's direct access, and then there's data gateway data movement, right? And they're a little different. The direct access option is when you want to load data directly into a Qlik Cloud feature. So if I'm in a Qlik application working on a dashboard and I'm in the data manager, the data load editor, and I want to load data from a database that I have in my environment behind a firewall, I can use the direct access tool, right? So that's installed on a Windows device in your network, and that is going to allow you to load data directly into your Qlik app, right? And that could also be loading it into a table recipe, into a data flow, any of those other Qlik features that are in Qlik Cloud Analytics. So then data movement is a tool. You actually install that on a Linux box, but same thing. It gets installed, in your environment, and it's also outbound only, fully encrypted connection. But the idea here is that it's more for data integration, data movement to target systems. So your target system may not be Qlik Cloud, right? So basically, this is a way for Qlik Cloud to be your command center to kind of define, okay, I have data that lives here on-prem, and then I have a target system, whether that's on-prem or not. That could be S3 buckets, Snowflake, Databricks, what have you. Your data is not necessarily going to go through Qlik Cloud, right? Qlik Cloud is just pointing A to B, right? Your data is lives here, and I want to move it here. That does not mean it won't go through the cloud, right? As opposed to that first one I mentioned, direct access, that is intended to go directly, your data goes directly to Qlik Cloud for use there. So that's the difference between these. Data movement, you would usually use that for large, fast-moving data sets, right? So doing change data capture for large systems, and that data may at some point in the process you want to use it in Qlik Cloud, but maybe the target is like a replicated server or Snowflake or something like that to use as a data warehouse. So that's kind of the breakout there. Now, really, this is going to be important for multiple people in your organization, right? The ability to access your on-prem data securely and in a really simplified manner. Number one, it's good for the data team. It's good for the software team because you're not going to have to set up code and a bunch of extra tools and processes in order to get your on-premise data up into Qlik Cloud, right? So there's not like manually exporting data out of databases or applications and then, having some sort of SSH or, some other setup where you have to like script out like moving files on a certain interval up into Qlik Cloud, or someone even, God forbid, manually uploading these files, right? This is a way where you can just access it directly from your Qlik dashboard, from your Qlik application. And then there's, like I said, no extra tooling that you have in between you and your data, right? It's just a direct access connection. And so that's really great for the data and software team. It's also good for the Qlik administrator because this is going to help speed adoption, right? The easier it is to get your data out of your old system and into Qlik Cloud, the quicker people are going to, adopt Qlik Cloud into their process and be able to get started quickly. And that's, one of the barriers to entry is accessing your data. And this greatly reduces that barrier to be able to get to your data quickly and in a secured fashion. So people trust that their data is, encrypted and safely being accessible to them in Qlik Cloud. And it's just very quick and easy to be able to set that up. You're just creating a data connection in your Qlik application, the same way you would create a data connection to, the same way you would do it normally, right? And so this is also really, really good. This tool and this kind of paradigm is really good for Qlik developers, obviously, because it helps speed development. The ability to, again, not have to manually upload files or set up coding and processes downstream to be able to ultimately get your data into Qlik for use in application, dashboards and Qlik applications. This is a really important way for developers to be able to move quickly, right? And access what they need at the speed of when they need it, rather than having to wait and having lag time for the entire process of creating these Qlik applications for these Qlik products. So the last thing I'll show is just a quick diagram that kind of pulls this together. If I find that here. So this is just from the Qlik help site, and this is showing specifically, this diagram is looking at the direct access data gateway client. So again, on the right side, if we start here, we have Qlik Cloud, right? So that's what you log into, qlikcloud.com, whatever. And this is where normally you would just create an app and then create a data connection to, again, like an API or like a database that's accessible to the internet, or you upload your files, what have you. Now, again, if we need to get data out of our firewall environment, so you're going to install Data Gateway onto a Windows box in your environment, and then Qlik Cloud will remotely, you can use, you can log into Qlik Cloud and manage that data gateway. So you don't have to constantly be logging into that Windows box in order to manage your data gateway stuff, apart from needing to, do updates and things like that. But the real important aspect of this is, again, being able to go safely into your environment and have these connections to your databases, your flat files, and even other larger enterprise systems like SAP, for example. And so you have those connections that Data Gateway is aware of, and then from Qlik Cloud, I would again go into an application. I would choose, I want to, access my Microsoft SQL Server database using a direct gateway, and then I would choose the direct gateway that I have access to from that list, and then I would choose everything that I normally would: the database, the port, the server, things like that. So that is exactly it's exactly as easy as that. The way you would normally create a data connection in Qlik, you do it the same way, right? It's just you're just using a special version of it in order to access your data gateway. And so that's kind of the gist of it here, folks. Basically, this hybrid data delivery, you're going to be able to use data that you get that's publicly or internet accessible, rather. Again, that can be APIs or Google Docs or what have you. But then this adds that hybrid solution of being able to access your on-prem data as well. So you get the full corpus of data that your enterprise uses and that your developers need to actually create these applications. You're not going to be hamstrung by intermediate tools and processes that are a little more manual, even to upload things and move things around. This is going to allow you to directly connect to your data, which is going to speed adoption of Qlik Cloud. It's going to speed up development for your developers and just creates less technical debt when you just have this direct, direct access tool that you install on-prem the way you would install anything else, right? So that's the gist of it, folks. I hope this was informative. We will occasionally talk about more, topics around hybrid data strategies and all the other features that are kind of related in Qlik Cloud. We discuss this on our LinkedIn page. You can find us on our website, arcanalytics.co, as well as the Arc Academy for Qlik on our school.com community. That's SKOOL. Find us there and come hang out with us, interact with us, and I will see you in the next video.